Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a VV OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love y'all. Let's say hello, Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. The heat is out, so you're getting cold Chavez today. Anyway, we'll get right into it. We'll start. Let me start off with Grumpycat before the OMI. So there are, for Grumpycat, up about 5% over the last 24 hours, up to about a $2.5 million market cap. So we are still down from the last month or so. I would say, given what's coming, the comic book, the other thing that nobody's talking about, the charity arm, the NFTs. I don't know if I should have said that. Anyway, this is part of the course. This is fine. I bought a little bit more Grumpycat on Friday. It wasn't much. I bought like another 60 billion, which is like $400. It's not a ton. I'll probably get a little bit more in the next couple weeks. There is a couple things I do want some money for. Like I want to go and, well, one, I got more OMI as well. OMI down here is nuts. So I didn't get a ton more. So I'll finish with Grumpycat here. There are a couple of other people that are going to get a little bit more. But really what people are just waiting on is just for the community to just get a little bit bigger. We can get on more exchanges, etc., and that'll help it. But speaking of OMI, I did get a little bit more, and that's why I only got $400 worth of Grumpycat. OMI had gone down. We're down 2.7% on today. We're at 0.0070. We actually were at 0.00695, so we were a bit lower, bounced off from that. That does seem to be a nice support line, is the 0.0069. Everyone comment nice down below with 69. And going down, so I think it cost me like $300 for 419,000 OMI. So close to the 420, which is fine. I'll do that every week but it happened to be on the app. It wasn't on exchanges. It just happened to be on the VV app. Someone had messaged me and said, "Hey, Randy, I got liquidated doing something. Do you want to buy my OMI?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." So I did. Speaking of buying stuff, I had a 13-hour stream the other day, which was hella fun. I think next one I'll do probably 16 hours, right? Should be good. This is a fun one. Around like the 9 or 10 hour mark, Mr. Rolex came in, and we were all talking about how much OMI we have, and we were kind of getting on him a little bit because he doesn't have like a ton. He has a little bit. He might have the 10 million for the staking. I don't know, but he was like, "All right, I'll get some," and he's like, "But when I get some, it's not going to be like 10 million. It's going to be like 100 million if I get some," which is right now like 70,000, 80,000, whatever. It's not going to be a ton of money, but that's a lot. So he says like, "I'll get it like next week," and we're all like, you know that you can't just buy 100 million OMI from exchanges, right? And he did like the Tim Allen, like, what? Like, why? He was puzzled. And I was like, well, if you go and you put in even, I don't know, like $20,000, you're going to pump the price a little bit. Because that $20,000 buy order is just going to sit there. Maybe someone sells into it, but for the most part, what you have to do is you have to buy some of the active sell orders, and when that happens, you're gonna have to pump the price a little bit. So you can only put in, I don't know, like $8,000, maybe $10,000 at a time. Buying some of those sell orders, waiting for it to come back down, buying some more, and that it takes a while. Like in order to buy 100 million from these exchanges and not pumping the price, it takes several days to do that. And that's, again, OMI is very sporadic. It could just pump 10% out of nowhere, like RKO out of nowhere, 10% pump out of nowhere, just like it's gone, 10% down this last week. So he was asking, like, does anyone know, who's got a couple billion OMI that they could just, sell 100 million? And of course, there's people out there that maybe would do that, but they would have to sell it to him like at a premium, so that this way they could go and recoup that loss, or recoup the OMI they lost when they sold it to him on more exchanges. I was just talking to another friend just now. She's got a good amount, and she's like, "Hey, I have this thing that I could do. I have a cruise I want to go on. I have all these. What should I do?" I was like, "Well, YOLO. You only live once. Um, but that could be a lot more OMI." And I've been having debates myself about, okay, well, uh, you know, taxes that you're gonna have to pay in April, and then you have January. The team's going to France, and then in February, some of them are likely going to Dubai. Want to do those things, and well, what do? I had someone message me the other day. I haven't gotten back to them yet. I'm so sorry. I'm so behind on so many messages. They're like, "Hey, what's the best thing to do right now? Should I buy OMI now? Should I wait?" And again, I haven't gotten back to them yet. But what's going to hurt less if you buy OMI now, and then it continues to go down? Okay, well, that's a certain amount of hurt. Or if you wait for it to go down, but it doesn't go down and it goes up and it stays up, and okay, well, now with my $10,000, I can only get this much. And what is going to hurt less? Whichever is going to take up less mental real estate in your state, in your mind. Usually that's the way I advise people to go. Now, obviously, this is not financial advice. This is just me telling you the conversations I have with my friends and the people that I do advise. So just keep that in mind. In other news, we happen to have the last thing that David had mentioned on the stream last week was I can never pronounce this. It is Avant-Garde Interactive Tengoku. What did Chavez just say? Say that 5 times fast. That is the video game that is coming out that is going to have a play to earn, play to burn, play to whatever type of game with OMI. And David mentioned he wanted to make it a little more Japanese. It's going to be a good thing for OMI. It's going to give it a little more utility. It's going to help with stuff. And just a way to make certain things fun. Well, they just had a video come out a couple days ago saying, haven't been working too much on new content lately since our focus is to polish what we've already done, including but not limited to new UI, voice acting, and narrative. And then Akomi had gone on and retweeted that saying OMI #indie game, which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, in case anyone forgot, there is a game coming out. So heckin' excited about that. Other news, the logo has gone down to about 5,500. It was really close at one point. The logo, gold and silver logo, was at like 5,900, and the Secret Rare Miles Morales was at like 6,800. And I was like, okay, well, the logo is at 5,800, but if it sells, then it's 6,800. That's the next floor. And this way, the logo and Secret Rare Miles Morales would have been really neck and neck, and the logo could have surpassed it. So I was like, hey, what's going to happen? But then literally like an hour later, somebody bought that Miles Morales. A couple of people had listed their logos, and then Sony's just like, hey, listen, Miles Morales is going to be the Spider-Man moving forward in their games. Obviously, not the MCU, at least not yet. But that's a big one. A lot of people, especially younger people, especially men, like that play those video games, and that's the content they get. Yeah, some people like, or most people like the Marvel movies. If you play that game, you're most likely seeing that because it's Spider-Man. You might not be watching the Marvels, which I just got tickets for. You might not be watching Thor. You might not be watching a couple of the other MCU movies. But when a Spider-Man movie comes out, you're freaking watching it. Like you just are. But after that announcement, 2 more Miles Morales is sold. So those Secret Rare Miles Morales are being bought up. One of which was by Bezojman. Me and Dr. Stuff were having a conversation about that on my stream yesterday. My voice still hurts from it. He's like, hey, who is Bezojman? And he's either a person that either has the time to 40 hours a week just buy stuff, or pays someone to buy stuff, or he's a conglomerate of people, and he's not just one person, he's a bunch of people, and they could just be going and buying, and again, they're not just buying small things anymore. They're buying high-end expensive things, and it's very, very interesting. I'm very, very curious to go see what they do. speaking of things, so like they have that, they have a gold logo. And speaking of the gold logo, nice segue into there. I had Vincent Zerzolo, the creator of the Addiction comic, on Vivi. I had him on the podcast, and he showed me, or he showed everyone. Hey, we had like a virtual tour of his office. This is $1 million. That's $1 million. This is $600,000. It's like, oh my god, so much product there. So I mentioned to him the gold logo on stream, which is great. And I mentioned to him a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, hey, listen. And he talked to me off camera, and he's like, can you tell me about, like he obviously went to Sanjay's party. So he knew kind of what the gold logo was, but he didn't know that that was an exclusive event. He didn't really put the two and two together. Again, it's crazy weekend. And he goes and he says, tell me about this. Like, okay, yeah, listen to this. And I gave him a brief history on just what Pokemon trophy cards were, how this relates to that, how this is taken on kind of a life of its own, where yes, a ton of utility comes from VV, but also a ton of utility is coming from the community, and there's more to come. And this is their version of Club 33 from Disney, and he understood that, and he'll likely be getting a logo soon. Now, I didn't want him to go and be like, yo, buy one right now. Like, I know this is like the third time we're talking, but pay $6,000 for this right now. I'm not going to do that to someone, and try to force something down someone's throat. I want to go and be like, hey, this is why I have two. This is why I think this is a good option, et cetera, et cetera. And again, this is just a conversation between me and Vincent. This is not me telling you guys to buy one, even though I think it is a good investment for Dashi and a good investment for me. I don't know your guys' financial life or scenario. So let's see what else. Oh, so speaking of which, if you are in Fort Lauderdale area, James Vivi is going to buy you a beer and a shot for if you have the logo and a pin. I don't know where you get the pin. I think he was handing it out at the event, but if you have a gold and Vivi pin, you get a free beer and a free shot from him. So that's pretty cool as well. Moving on. So Vivi was going on, and they posted a link to an article from Collider. And this was about the James Bond drop with, the jetpack. I've seen some of the artwork from that. The, Miss Minutes flying the jetpack. Really cool. Anyway, Collider has 152,000 followers over on the Twitter, and they wrote an article about that. I thought it was really fun. So it was, Vivi goes and they post, check out where collectibles in this series rank in Collider's best 007 gadgets of all time, including the jetpack from Thunderball 1965, where it was from. So I thought that was really cool that they happened to do that. And Vivi doing a little trolling here, saying, we are aware some collectors are having issues purchasing collectibles if they don't have enough gems in their balance. The team is working towards a solution and will have it resolved ASAP. We apologize for the inconvenience and appreciate your patience. Obviously, this is a troll post. Oh, well, because if you don't have enough gems in your balance, obviously the issue is not on Vivi's end. You just don't have enough gems. I don't know if that's just a big ticket that they've gotten recently from a bunch of people saying, like, oh, why can't I buy this? Oh, you don't have enough gems. And they're just making a joke out of it. I will address some of the FUD here as well, where Vivi has done a mass unfollowing of people from their account, and they've blocked several people that's from their account. And you have some of the FUD like, oh, why should I do this? This isn't a good look, Vivi. And okay, let's assume that's correct. Let's assume that it's not a good look, which is very, very debatable. But let's assume in this scenario it's not. Okay, Vivi does something that's not a good look to certain people short term, and in a couple days people are going to forget about it and they'll move on to something else. That's what always happens. Okay, well, that's one scenario. Another scenario, this is, let's say they decide to go and not, block people, from their Twitter account or X account. Okay, well, what happens? Those people with those accounts will continue to FUD, will continue to tag Vivi. And again, when I say FUD technically is just fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And that by itself is not bad. Hey, if you're fearful and you're saying why, hey, this is some of the concerns I have, this is why I'm fearful, okay, that's fine. if you're uncertain about something because of X, Y, or Z, be like, hey, is this going to work? I don't know if this is a good idea. Okay, fine. Doubt. This is a kind of a big timeline. I don't know if Vivi's going to do this. Or, Vivi's saying they want to have, 500,000 new users in the next 2 years. That's a lot. I don't think they can do that. And here's why. Whatever. That's fine. All of that, healthy criticism is 100% welcomed. But the people they're blocking are not saying that, and they're not presenting it in that way. They're saying like, oh, Vivi's a bunch of liars. They're a bunch of scammers. This is a rug pull. Like, not only are they lying, and not only are they, liable for possibly going to be liable for certain things, that just straight up misinformation. That's horrendous, and I don't know why you would do that. Because you have no. I'm not even going to get into the psychoanalysis of it, but okay, so let's say they don't block those accounts. Those accounts are going to keep on doing it and keep on doing it and keep on doing it, and some of those accounts have followings. Okay, they're going to have to continue dealing with that forever, or they block them once, some people get mad for a little bit, and that's it. That's it. Now, again, yes, they were blocking people that needed to be blocked. What about the unfollowing? It does look nicer when an account has less followers, and or when they have less people that they're following, and they are, and then they have a whole bunch of people following them. I don't know if that's why they did it. I think that's why Metaverse Life did that. Because again, for his account, it just looks nice. Hey, I'm only following 7, 12 people, whatever, as opposed to following 8,000 people. And some people say, oh, well, Randy, you're just saying that because, they still follow you. Listen, Vivi themselves are, in my opinion, just, again, I love collecting. I love anything about this industry. That's how I made a lot of my fortune was, Pokemon collectibles. They were the cards. And, these things mean a lot to me. And Vivi's going and disrupting an entire multi-billion-dollar industry. Billions of dollars per year that they're disrupting, and this is cool. This is fun, and it's not that I don't care if they follow me or not. It's just, listen, if they unfollow me, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to, I'm still going to be making videos because this is my passion. This is what I love. I even told David last year, I was like, hey, listen, I know you want to do the ambassador program at some point, and if you decide to say, hey, Randy, we want to maintain a certain image, we want to maintain a certain place where, maybe some people are not hydrating with daddy sodas on stream, or maybe they're not eating a certain type of thing that makes their brain weird for a little bit, and we want to step away from that, and that's why we're not going to have you as an ambassador program. I told him, like, hey, listen, if you say that, it's okay. I understand this is just business. We can remain friends, obviously, and that's not going to affect anything. But some people just get super, super salty, and it's like, okay, well, who do you want to follow and who do you want to listen to? Do you want to listen to people who whine and complain all the time with next to no merit that have to be dealt with? Or do you want to listen to people that have been in the business and financial world for a long time and understand why they're doing these things? It's like that meme that was going around the other day. Oh, do I listen to the fudders that have absolutely no signs of financial literacy? Or do I listen to people that are actually in the VVverse beta and actually know what they're talking about? I wonder who you should listen to. Again, I'm just throwing that out there. So I mentioned the Marvels before. Marvel Studios says Strong Together. Experience the Marvels in theaters November 10th. Oh yeah, that is the 10th. And Vivi goes and reposts it, says, get ready for some Flurkin. Hashtag the Marvels. The Flurkin is just the creature that kind of presents itself as a cat and, eats the Tesseract. And, it was a really, really big part in the last movie in Captain Marvel. And I said, oh, could we be getting, a cat Marvel Mighty? And Vivi liked it. So, maybe. I'm really hoping we do. We have 2 dog Mighties already. We have Dogpool from the Deadpool series, and then we have Cosmo from the Cosmo. She's the astronaut dog. Have her from the Guardians of the Galaxy one, And we don't have any cat Marvel Mighties yet, so I'm very, very curious. Speaking of which, they had a AMC goes and posts. The cutest collectibles in the galaxy are hatching at AMC theaters. Get our exclusive The Marvels surprise Flurkin Kitty combo, plus a large drink and a popcorn for $39.99, available in theaters on November 9th while supplies last. And this is what they look like. They are cute, and I want them, so I'm probably going to get them. In some other news, we do have Aldous Havley that went on and purchased his partner statue, number 1845. Shout out to him for that. And then we have shout out to Noldor Alive that is now putting out again the top 500 VV holders. So in the last like 7 weeks, the top 3 NFT sellers had sold 612 NFTs in total. And the third most purchased was Stefane08, which again, over the course of like 7 weeks, purchased 1,276 collectibles. And then you have Bezojman, which purchased 7,036, so about 1,000 per week. Bananas. Actually a little bit low for him. Normally it was around 1,500 per week. He's slowed down a bit as he's gotten older. But something else that I really, really liked was the fact that now you need 1,240 collectibles in order to be in the top 500. The 500th wallet is the fourth wall that has 1,240. And in the top 490 or 491 to 500, it goes from 1,240 to 1,294. It is a very thin floor. You go up a lot. So there's a bit of a difference between number 500 and number 491. But likely soon it looks like it's going to be realized that you're going to need close to 1,300 collectibles in order to be in that top 500. Over the last several weeks, I happen to go up a little bit. Now it said I had purchased 92 collectibles, which I may or may not have, but it said I had 1,522 collectibles. I only had like 1,502 or 1,503 at the time, so they overshot me by like 20 collectibles. So just kind of be mindful of that. This video is already 22 minutes, so I'll leave it there for now. There is a lot more to go over. I'll do another one later. Everyone please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. And everyone pray for my heat to be fixed. It is quite cool. Bye, guys. Meow, meow, meow. That was a Lord of the Rings reference, by the way.